Okay, so viewers, here we are. This is what was published, and we all saw it. And I also get excited when I see people say they have a scandal to report. So I saw this. This is the kitchen scandal drops on Tuesday, 1st August 2023 at 5 a.m. I'm not sure why they were dramatic about 5 a.m. Okay, so what's the story? Okay. Now, do I have the photographs of the actors? So this is Adom-Otchere, the Honorable Member of Parliament for North Tom. Now, there's another Member of Parliament from Presec. He's another day, so remember that all the time. I think that Adom-Otchere has been either grossly misinformed or he has not understood. I suspect, knowing what I know about him, that he may have been misinformed or he and his team have grossly misunderstood the role of the Attorney General. And they've not done enough of the history of the case that they are discussing. Because the case they are discussing has a clear history, and we're going to tell you the history tonight. And we're going to show you the role that the Attorney General played. It would appear also that when you listen to the scandal, the real focus of this scandal is not Adom-Otchere, it's not the MPP itself as such. It is Godfrey Dame, the Attorney General. He's the one that Adom-Otchere is looking for. He's looking for Godfrey Dame. You can understand why. They've tried hard with Jachi Kwesi, and Godfrey Dame has gotten his spot on at every stage of the Jachi Kwesi trial. Never mind that Jachi Kwesi won the by-elections, which he did. Congratulations to him. But at every stage of the trial, Godfrey Dame's legal analysis have been correct. And we have been in this country and we have seen that it's not always that Attorney General wins. The NDC themselves, in 2009, were at pains to complain that the Attorney General of the day, Betty Mould, was losing cases. The Attorney Generals lose cases. Nana Akufo-Addo as Attorney General has lost a case before. So Attorney Generals don't always win. Godfrey Dame has lost some cases to the NDC. But the fact is that on the critical ones, he seems to get it right all the time. And he gets it right in a way that sometimes hurts the NDC. So he's prosecuted at 247, and they say it's a kangaroo trial, is this. But he goes to court and he demonstrates the understanding of the law, the panache, and the circumstance. That makes the judges rule for him. The judges didn't rule for him since he became Attorney General. If you look at his history as a private practicing lawyer, especially his history against Betty Mould as Attorney General, the cases they did together or they did against each other, Godfrey Dame versus Betty Mould, you can go and check. You'll find about 4 or 5 cases in which Godfrey Dame completely dispatched Betty Mould at the courts. Betty was Attorney General. And Dame defeated her, just dispatched her just like that. And not that Betty Mould is a bad lawyer. Betty Mould is not a bad lawyer. But when the case is bad, it's bad. And Betty had gone to court against Osei and other people. And Dame was the private legal practitioner who dispatched them. So he's had a seasoned practice before he became Attorney General. Everybody at the Bar Association knows that. Now, when he became Attorney General, or since he became Attorney General, right from the vetting, you remember his vetting, the controversy about back and forth with Haruna Idrisu, that the minority leader at the time had to concede to him on a particular point about public procurement law. So a good lawyer is a good lawyer. Whether he's Attorney General or not Attorney General, is a good lawyer, you see. So I'm guessing that the target of this whole Ablakwa thing is about Godfrey Dame. And so we're going to get into that and show you a few things. Okay, let's get back to the story. What is Adom-Otchere complaining about? What is the scandal? The scandal is that there is a private company whose name we cannot mention because they're a private company, they're doing their business. It's a private company who had a deal, a contract done with the government of Ghana. During the John Mahama era, this private company's deal with the government of Ghana was done and expressed during the John Mahama era. Okay, come the MPP era, difficulties arise with the relationship. And so, as you know, every contract has a termination clause and has an abrogation regime. So the termination and abrogation was exercised and the contract was terminated. Now, this private company were alarmed. They were unhappy with the termination, as I would have been too. So they decided to go back to the contract and bring legal action against government. Okay. So in bringing legal action against government, they hired lawyers to take the legal action. So they went to one law firm first and said, take legal action for us, and we want to sue the government. And then they were told that there's another law firm, Africa Legal Associates, Adom-Otchere's law firm, which has seasoned lawyers there. Gabi is not the only lawyer. There are other very serious corporate lawyers. There are people who have significant corporate practice. I don't need to mention their names. They are there. So their law firm's conduct of the matter was that when they have a client who wants to sue, they are quick to negotiate. So that's what they do. They are quick to negotiate. And so they told the clients that, listen, you want to sue government. Let us negotiate with government and see whether you can see eye to eye. Because you can go to the court and win, but you can also go to the court and lose. So if you're looking for your money, your contract has been terminated, you want to exercise the termination clause and see what can be done. So that's the conversation they had. Now, why was the contract difficult? The contract was difficult for government because it was done in a certain way. Please get me back get ready the World Bank story that said that the World Bank guy who said the worst contracts in Ghana was done in the John Mahama time. Get me that story. That's the guy, World Bank guy, who recently said that. We use the story here. He said the worst contract was done in the John Mahama time. Now, if you look at some of these contracts that was done, it is bad. But that's not our point here. Government is a continuum. So whether it's NDC government or it's MPP government, it's the government of Ghana. So the conduct of an NDC government, it's implied upon an MPP government. The conduct of an MPP government is implied upon a future NDC government. The conduct of an NDC government is implied upon a future CPP government. Government is a continuum, as we learned in political science, didn't we? So when one government does something, it is assumed that the other government has done it. So one government can do, another government can change it. When the aggrieved party thinks that the government owes me, yes, the government owes them. So some of Ablakwa's allegations are that some deal was cooked in the kitchen. You go back to his kitchen thing. Yes, some deal was cooked in a kitchen by Adom-Otchere, the Africa Legal Associates founder, and he suspects, he ropes in the Attorney General, says that the Attorney General also rendered advice for the money to be paid back to the business entity. That's the allegation. So his allegation is that people sat down and tried to cook some huge sums of millions of cedis to create the impression that government owed this business entity. The Attorney General was part of creating the impression that government owed this entity and that the government has paid or is about to pay this entity, and that is the scandal. That's the kitchen scandal. That's all what it is. Okay.